Hi guys, Miss Hutchinson here. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about seashells. So seashells come in a lot of varieties of shapes, sizes, and colors. But if you were to take all the seashells in the world, you could put them into two categories. You could put them into what's called the univalve category, which means that it has one opening, or into the bivalve category, which means that it has a top shell, a bottom shell, and then they are on hinges so that it can open and close. So I'm going to read to you guys the story Seashells by the Seashore. And in the story, you're going to see some different kinds of shells. So let's begin. Sue walks along the seashore, warmed by the sun, picking up seashells one by one. Here's a pretty periwinkle. What a work of art. Let's find some more shells. We're off to a good start. So this is a periwinkle shell. It is a univalve shell, so it only has one opening at the bottom there. Seashells tumble from the ocean blue. Find a tiny kitten's paw so Sue can have two. This is a kitten's paw. Once creatures lived in these shells from the sea. Here's a fragile jingle shell. Now there are three. So these are jingle shells. They are bivalve shells, so they have a top and a bottom, and they can open and close. And this just shows some of the different colors that seashells can be. When the animals die, the shells wash up to shore. A smooth and empty olive shell will bring us up to four. So here are some olive shell. They are a univalve shell with only one opening. We're getting good at shelling. No time to swim or dive. A scallop has a fan shape. That makes five. So scallop shells are bivalve shells with a top and a bottom. So many seashells that we can mix. If we find a whelk shell, there will be six. So these are whelk shells. They're univalve shells, and they can get to be pretty big. How the seashells glisten in the sun that shines from heaven. Here's a bumpy oyster shell, so that makes seven. So these are oyster shells. They are bivalve shells. And if you see that oyster on the top there, that has opened up and you can actually see the oyster meat. And what people do with that oyster meat is they actually eat it. You can eat oysters, mussels, clams, things like that. It's not my favorite, but a lot of people do like the meat that you can find inside oysters or scallops and things like that. The tide is rolling in and it's getting pretty late. This shell looks like a slipper. Now we have eight. So these are slipper shells, and as you can see that there's a little penny right there. And what that penny is doing is it's showing you that slipper shells are pretty small. So think about the size of a penny, and a slipper shell is very close to that size. I want you to also look at these two pictures. These are the same pictures, except you can see on the top that there's a lot of sand, people are playing in the water and on the beach, where on the bottom picture, the water's really, really close and there's not a lot of beach left. And that is because of what's called the tide. The ocean water is constantly moving. It's either moving in or it's moving out. And it does happen very slowly, but what's happening is it's called high tide and low tide. And what do you think causes that water to move in and that water to move out? If you guessed the moon, you are correct. So the moon has like this magnetic pole that the water wants to follow the moon. So as the moon's right here, the water wants to be close, and when the moon goes away, it follows it away. So during the nighttime, a lot of times the water is really close to the shore, or during the daytime, it follows the moon out, and that's how you get those beaches and things like that, because the water has gone out, causing a low tide. So we're going to watch a quick video, and this shows a low tide coming into a high tide. So if you watch the beach there and also watch the dock, you can see some of that movement. Now this is a time-lapse video, so the tide going in and out doesn't happen super, super quick. It takes a while. So this video was shot all day long, but they sped it up for us and they put it into a quick video. So as you can see, the water is getting closer and closer to us. And if you can also see that the dock is starting to rise up. And there it is, getting closer to us. And again, the dock is rising up. All right, so there you guys go. That just shows the water, the low tide out, and then the high tide coming in. We're scouring through the beach sand. Lots of shells are fine. We want to find a moon shell to bring us up to 9. So moon shell is my favorite kind of shell. I just really liked the design. And you can also see that there's a little crab in that moon shell. I've got some really awesome shells, Sue tells her brother Ben. He's found a spiny pen shell. Now there are 10. Do you think she'll like them? Ben asked Sue. So there's a pen shell. Grandma walked this beach, Ben, just like me and you. She loved to look for different shells of every shape and size, and so these treasures that we found will be a great surprise. I've got one too, says Ben's friend Evan. He adds a heavy arc shell, and that makes 11. So an arc shell is a bivalve shell. It has that top and the bottom and opens and closes. They've scrubbed the seashell sculptures to put on Grandma's shells. Let's find a cockle shell, so there will be 12. So these are cockle shells. 12 seashell treasures are in Sue's pal. But wait, what's this? A slimy sea snail? That's the mollusk inside, as live as it can be. We need to take him down to his home in the sea. So an animal like an oyster, a mussel, scallop that live in a shell is called a mollusk. And so they found one that was still in the shell. And so they need to take it down back to the sea so it can live and continue to grow inside. So Evan takes the whelk shell down to the shore. The creature living deep inside will crawl around once more. Happy birthday, Grandma, and many, many more. We have a special gift for you, seashells from the seashore. So here's some animals and in their shell. So as you can see, the clam down here, that is a mollusk, where the hermit crabs and stuff just live in the shells. All right, so it is now directed drawing time. There is a link for you guys to follow along with me for your directed drawing, where you get to make a beach scene and you get to draw some of the shells that we just talked about in our video. Also, don't forget to check out the other links that show a variety of different shells, the different colors, and also you get to see what the world's largest shell is. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye.